7 months pregnant, I discovered Adam was cheating on me. He was standing next to a claw machine, operating the handle with a focused expression. A little girl beside him was holding a bunch of plush toys, looking at him with adoration. Adam glanced at her casually, and the girl immediately shoved a piece of fried yogurt into his mouth. They smiled at each other, radiating pink bubbles. I should have been touched by their sweet love and smiled too. But all I felt was disgust. I whispered an apology to the baby in my belly. "I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry you won't have a father when you're born. But it's okay, your father's money is still yours." I returned home in a daze, clutching the warm white fungus porridge tightly in my hands, my body trembling uncontrollably. Adam walked in at that moment and casually picked up a blanket from the chair and covered me with it. "It's late autumn, wear more clothes if you're cold, catching a cold is bad for the child." After saying that, he looked down at his phone, a smile unconsciously spreading to his ears. "Is it okay for adults?" I suddenly asked. "What?" He paused for a second, then, not paying much attention, pulled out a plush toy and handed it to me. I passed by a claw machine and just grabbed it. "Don't you always like these things?" I stared at the doll, a green dinosaur with uneven coloring, its mouth wide open, its cheap plastic teeth jagged and uneven, and a tear in the tail revealing white fluff underneath. A defective product, really ugly. Perhaps her daughter was deliberately showing off to me, a complete stranger. Otherwise, why would she pick out this one from among so many cute pink dolls in her bag? At the very least, she could have exchanged it at the counter, but she didn't. Because this one was perfect for me. "Why did you suddenly want to play the claw machine?" My knuckles were white as I gripped the cup. "I saw it while passing by and just got the urge." He casually sat down on the chair next to me. A cheap perfume wafted over. "Your taste has gotten much worse than before." I looked at the little dinosaur on the table, resisting the urge to throw it in the trash. "What?" he asked again. From the moment he entered, a sweet, nostalgic smile graced his face, as he occasionally drifted into his own thoughts. He was probably reminiscing about the taste of fried yogurt. I looked up at the light, forcing back the tears in my eyes. "I'm telling you, your taste is terrible these days. You'd even grab such an ugly doll," I said, getting up from my seat. The smell of his perfume made me dizzy. Actually, I really wanted to ask him where he passed by. He has a driver who picks him up and drops him off at work. Did the driver just drive right up to the claw machine in the mall and let him pass by? I didn't question him, but he got upset. "So cute, how is it ugly?" "Brittany, in your mind now, are only gold and silver jewelry and designer bags not ugly?" I stopped in my tracks, turned around to look at him in astonishment, not understanding why he suddenly accused me like this. I accidentally glimpsed his chat history on his phone. "Oh, I don't want any bags or jewelry. These dolls were all handpicked by you. In my eyes, they're the most precious things." "Ah, I see." Noticing my gaze, Adam nervously turned off his phone and deliberately changed the subject. "Is the baby being good? Did it kick you?" I took a step back to avoid his touch, but I couldn't hold back any longer and vomited on the doll with a whoosh. Adam instinctively grabbed the doll and said, "What are you doing? There's a trash can over there." Then he took the doll to the bathroom, leaving me behind. Hearing the noise, the nanny, Ashley, rushed over and patted my back. "Why are you vomiting again after 7 months? You've been doing well these past few months." Tears I'd been holding back finally broke free and streamed down my face. I think I must have looked incredibly pathetic at that moment. Ashley hurriedly handed me a tissue. "Madam, are you all right?" Adam, who had just finished cleaning the dinosaur, walked by and casually remarked, "Pregnant women are so fussy." Without even looking up, I could guess that he must be frowning and looking disgusted. The tears suddenly stopped. I took the tissue from Ashley and wiped my face. "Adam, you smell like fox." Adam, who was drying his dolls on the balcony, paused for a moment, then subconsciously sniffed himself. "Do I?" Seeing his nervous expression, Ashley burst out laughing. "Sir, you really care about your image." Adam looked embarrassed. After all, I have to meet a client this afternoon. He turned towards the bathroom instead of leaving, and soon the sound of running water came from inside. You just said one word, and he went to take a shower. He really cares about you, Ashley exclaimed. I forced a smile. He probably cared more about his image in his mistress's eyes. Adam didn't come out until quite a while after the water stopped. He was dressed casually, lacking the ruthless demeanor he displayed in the business world, and his hair was meticulously styled. At this moment, he stood tall and straight, the corners of his mouth slightly upturned, and his eyes beneath his sword-like eyebrows gleamed with a hint of youthful naivete and arrogance. I was stunned. The man before me was the same boy I knew from 10 years ago. Brittany, come on. This time I'm sure I'll catch the doll you like. His bright eyes shone with an untamed spirit. If I don't lose this time, you have to keep your promise and be my girlfriend. It depends on your performance, I said smugly. Just watch, I've practiced hard for many days. Perhaps my expression was too serious, because he asked nervously, what, is it not good? I was a little dazed. It's good, just as good as the afternoon you confessed to me. Adam paused, his smile froze, and he stood rooted to the spot. The weather's just as nice as it was that day, Adam. Come for a walk with me, I said, looking at him. Facing the man I'd loved for 10 years, I realized I still wanted to try and win him back. Baby, if Daddy stops here, will we forgive him? I touched my belly, hoping he would turn back. Adam's eyes flickered with conflict. I unconsciously recalled the day I agreed to his request, and how he happily hugged me and spun me around. Brittany, I'm so happy. I'm going to earn lots and lots of money for you, and then we'll have another child. We'll definitely be the happiest family in the world. I lowered my head shyly. Who wants to have a child for you? Of course it's you, Brittany. I wouldn't want someone else's child. He said, lowering his head to kiss me. Even the wind that day felt sweet. He probably thought of that day 10 years ago too. The conflict in his eyes faded, and he put his phone back in his pocket. Okay, let's go for a walk. There's a hawthorn tree on that hill over there. Let's pick some and make candied hawthorns. I was taken aback, and a wave of bitterness washed over me. I don't like sour foods. I didn't like them 10 years ago, and now that I'm pregnant, I like them even less. Just as I was about to leave, the shrill ring of the phone rang. Answer it, I said, letting go of my outstretched hand with a sigh of relief. I almost shook his. We'll leave after you answer it, Adam said, his eyes shining with certainty. I chuckled. How could that be? After this, it'll probably be the end for us. The girl didn't disappoint me. Her very first words shattered the 10 years Adam and I had shared. She wanted candied hawthorns. Adam readily agreed. After hanging up the phone, he looked at me apologetically. It was Mr. Tom's secretary. Mr. Tom invited me to play golf. Then, as if afraid I would refuse, he added, you know, we have an important project to work on with Mr. Tom. I smiled considerately. Of course I know, go ahead. Adam didn't hesitate any longer and walked out. When he reached the door, he suddenly turned back. There's a really fun claw machine at Shinglong Shopping Mall. You can go check it out when you have time. Don't just stay cooped up at home all the time. My heart felt like it had been stabbed again. Aren't you afraid I'll run into your mistress at Shinglong Shopping Mall? He clearly realized he'd misspoke. I heard it from the younger people in the company. I nodded, urging him to hurry up and not waste time. After watching him leave, I went to the window and watched him get into his car and drive west, even though the golf course was to the east. The two directions were completely opposite. Just like him and me, we had unknowingly drifted apart. Mr. Tom is one of our biggest clients. Even without love, we still need to hold on to our money. Just to be on the safe side, I've decided to go to Shinglong Shopping Mall and see if I run into him. If so, I'll give him a little nudge. Since the love is gone, the order absolutely cannot be lost. On the way to the mall, the private investigator sent me an investigation message. The young woman's name was Finoa, 22 years old, a sales assistant at a clothing store in Shinglong Mall. She had excellent sales skills, consistently ranking as the top salesperson every month. But she resigned this morning. Seeing this, I frowned. Quit? Does Adam intend to support her? Doesn't he know he's spending the money I'm saving for the kids? I told the driver to hurry up, and after getting out of the car, I walked quickly towards the clothing store where Finoa was. Ashley told me to slow down. But I still couldn't catch up. Finoa had already left. The young girl in the shop looked at me suspiciously. Who are you? Finoa was just picked up by her boyfriend. He said he'd arranged an easy, high-paying job for her. She's so lucky to have met a self-made millionaire. You bet. He's young, handsome, and most importantly, he treats her so well. He not only plays claw machines with her, but he also plays escape rooms with her. On Finoa's birthday, her boyfriend bought out all the candied hawthorns in the mall and gave them away for free, only asking that whoever received them wish her a happy birthday. She just likes candied hawthorns, right? Even if you have money, you don't have to waste it like that. She's so lucky. Their discussion grew increasingly sarcastic. Who are you? You're not Finoa's boyfriend's wife, are you? She asked, looking at my stomach with excitement. But I disappointed her. No, I'm her boss. Huh? Ignoring the astonishment behind me, I turned and went to the company. Ashley trotted after me, saying, Madam, slow down. Oh dear, your hands are so cold. Take care of yourself. As she chattered on, I felt as if my heart had been cleaved open by a knife, the pain suffocating me. By the time I saw Finoa at the front desk, I had composed myself. New here? I asked. Our eyes met, and she recognized me. She paused for a moment, then looked at me with a humiliated expression, without answering my question. The HR person happened to pass by and answered for her. Yes, Adam just arranged it. Even the receptionist needs Adam to hire personally? The HR person looked embarrassed. At this moment, Adam walked over. What brings you here? A hint of embarrassment flashed across his face. Mr. Tom had something come up and we rescheduled for the evening. I ignored his awkward excuse and went over to straighten his collar. I was looking through old photos at home and suddenly missed you. He looked moved and took my hand. Didn't we just see each other at noon? Just then, there was a slap sound, which startled me. What happened? Adam asked, his face displeased. Immediately following was HR's reprimand. What's wrong with you? You can't even hold a cup properly? Finoa quickly crouched down to pick up the shards, but accidentally cut her finger on a shard. Blood gushed out, and tears fell onto the broken glass. She looked up at Adam, her face stubborn yet aggrieved. Adam unconsciously tightened his grip on my hand, his gaze towards Finoa filled with heartache. You hired her? I pulled my hand back, stretching it slightly. Ah? Oh, right, my friend's sister, just graduated, and she asked me to help her find a job. Finoa, a relative? I looked at the name tag in front of me. It was a name tag that had been prepared as soon as I arrived. It seemed that Adam had been planning this for a long time. Madam, I'm not a relative. I can support myself. I don't need anyone's connections. She stood up, looked at me, her chin slightly raised, tears streaming down her face, a pitiful sight. Your first job? I ignored her hostile gaze. I worked as a salesperson in a shopping mall, she said. Then you're wrong. I turned to Adam. Finoa seems quite capable and has sales experience. How can she only be a receptionist? Make her your personal assistant. That way, she can better utilize her experience. And you can also give your friend an explanation. My reaction was probably too unexpected, as Adam and Finoa stood there stunned. Sitting in Adam's office, I took the water Ashley handed me. Let her sit here, I said, pointing to my previous seat. Before I got pregnant, I shared an office with Adam. Later, my pregnancy symptoms became too severe, so I went home. This won't do, this is your seat, Adam blurted out. Finoa, standing behind me, turned pale and bit her lower lip tightly. I glanced at him. Why not? You're so busy with work, I'm always worried about you without someone to take care of you. To let me focus on my pregnancy, Adam replaced all his assistants with men. What's the point? He'll just cheat on me in a different place, won't he? Besides, I trust Finoa's abilities. I looked at Finoa. By the way, didn't you have plans with Mr. Tom tonight? Take Finoa with you. After I finished speaking, I looked at Finoa again. Actually, discussing projects and selling clothes are based on the same underlying logic. You have to understand people's hearts and know what they really want. Right, Adam? I looked at Adam with a smile. Adam looked at me. The sunlight streaming through the window shone brightly on my face, making it hard to see his expression. Actually, the receptionist is quite nice. I can give her a raise. It'll be a fair exchange with my friend. Adam, please give me a chance. I won't let you down. How could Finoa give up this opportunity? Her face was flushed, full of stubbornness. I don't want to just be a pretty face. Young man, it's always good to have ambition. I knew Finoa wanted to replace me as Mr. Adam the moment I saw her. She was young and beautiful, and felt she had plenty of advantages. Actually, I'm only 28. Drink less tonight, the baby and I will worry, I said softly. Adam agreed quietly, and didn't look away until I left the office. I no longer cared about his state of mind. In the car, I kept wiping my hands with tissues. Madam, that Finoa looks like a vixen. Why didn't you fire her? Why did you transfer her to Adam's side? Ashley looked at me, her face full of doubt. She's beautiful, and she can bring profits to the company. Huh? People's hearts change. It's only been 10 years. What happened to the promise of a lifetime? I muttered to myself, watching the scenery flash by outside the window, my eyes gradually clearing. But money doesn't change. I wasn't wrong about Finoa. After several rounds, she successfully won over Mr. Tom and secured a 30 million yuan deal for the company. On the night of the signing, Adam sat next to me, beaming with excitement. I underestimated this young lady. I didn't expect her to be so capable. Mr. Tom, what a tough nut to crack. I negotiated with him for more than half a year and still couldn't get the project, but Finoa got it in half a month. He seemed to have discovered a more useful side to Finoa. Brittany, you have a sharp eye. I scoffed. What was so difficult about that? Mr. Tom was a womanizer, and Finoa was young and beautiful. I was simply making good use of her. The messages the private investigator had sent me these past few days kept echoing in my mind. Mr. Tom's enormous body was pressed against Finoa, and it was amazing that she could still laugh so happily. I nudged Adam to get away from me. You reek of alcohol, don't let it bother the child. Oh, I almost forgot, I'm going to take a shower first. Baby, when you come out, Daddy will give you a big company. He left smugly. After his shower, Adam was called away by Finoa again. I breathed a sigh of relief. It was worth it for posting that candlelight dinner picture on my WeChat moments, visible only to Finoa, with the caption, celebrating the successful signing. Glancing at the empty table, I went straight to my bedroom and slept soundly that night. The next day, I was taking a walk in my neighborhood when I bumped into Finoa. She had moved to a place near mine. Adam said it was for work convenience, and I didn't question it. With a triumphant smile on her face, she craned her neck to greet me. Brittany, good morning. Adam celebrated with us so late yesterday that he slept at the company. You don't mind, do you? I glanced at the deliberately exposed red marks on her neck, but couldn't help looking down at her lower body, the image of Mr. Tom lifting her skirt to her waist flashing through my mind. Signing such a big project, we should celebrate properly, I replied perfunctorily. I couldn't help but think of Mr. Tom's fat face and stinky mouth. I wondered if Adam had lifted her skirt in the same way last night. Finoa was still close to me. Brittany, do you think my ring is pretty? The ring on her hand was almost identical to my wedding ring. I couldn't hold it in any longer and vomited directly onto her hand. Ashley rushed over, handed me a glass of water, and wiped my mouth. Our lady has an upset stomach during her pregnancy and can't stand disgusting things, she said, then helped me leave. Finoa roared, "Who are you calling disgusting?" "Madam, I'm telling you, you're just too kind-hearted." "What kind of good person is that Finoa? I even saw her this morning when I was buying groceries." The two of them were making out in front of the window, completely oblivious to everyone else. They didn't even bother to draw the curtains. It's truly indecent. Ashley looked at me with exasperation. "But Ashley, she just earned 30 million for my child," I said coldly. "Ah? But madam, only money in hand is truly yours. This money is all in the company account. What if the master spends it on that vixen?" "Yes," Ashley reminded me. "What if Adam spent the money on her?" "Looks like I'll have to go to the company again." In the office, Adam was looking at a medical report. "She's perfectly healthy." "Of course, I can definitely give you a big, healthy son," Finoa giggled, almost sitting on Adam's lap. I knocked on the door at the most inopportune moment. Finoa's buttocks bounced back the instant she touched Adam's leg. They both coughed awkwardly to cover their embarrassment. I looked at the documents on the table. The company organized a physical examination? It's only been 6 months since the last one? Yes, Adam said it was specially organized to take care of me since I just joined. Finoa looked at me with a smug expression. Yes, Adam always cares about his employees, I replied with a smile. But in my heart, I was thinking, how can Adam be at ease without a medical checkup? After all, you were with Mr. Tom. Adam is arrogant and a womanizer, but he's not stupid. It's ridiculous that Finoa takes this as favoritism towards her. "Adam, isn't my new bag pretty?" It took forever to get all the required items. I didn't want to waste time arguing with them, I just wanted to finish my task as quickly as possible. "This must be expensive, right?" Finoa looked distressed, probably thinking I was spending her money. "It's all right, 120,000, I said casually. "What, 120,000? Finoa exclaimed. "Compared to what Adam just earned, 120,000 is nothing. Besides, isn't the point of a man to earn money for his wife and kids? That's what makes a man the most handsome." I looked at Adam with admiration. He clearly appreciated my expression and ignored Finoa's rant. "Oh, I heard Finoa put in a lot of effort this time, should we buy her one too?" I looked at Adam, noticing Finoa's expectant face out of the corner of my eye. "Oh, she doesn't need one, she likes dolls," Adam declined. Finoa's face turned pale, but she couldn't refute it. After all, this was the persona she had created for herself. "Really? Finoa is truly refreshing and untainted by worldly corruption," I said, looking at her with delight. Her expression softened slightly as she picked up a pink rabbit from the desk. Adam caught this for me himself. "Sincerity is more important than money, you can buy a bag with it." She looked at me defiantly. I looked at Adam and said in a coquettish tone, "The claw machine skills you practiced so hard to win me over have now become your tool for showing off." Then he turned to Finoa and said, "Back then, your Adam stood in front of the claw machine for a week to woo me. His legs were sore from standing there that he finally mastered the skill of winning every time. But speaking of which, you haven't gone with me to catch fish in a long time. Every time I want to go, you always say it's something only kids do," I said wistfully. Before Adam could speak, I turned to Finoa with a hint of envy in my eyes. It's good to be young, that Adam can condescend to play these childish games. Finoa's face, which had been growing paler, finally softened a little. She seemed to have found her advantage, she was young. Adam leaned back lazily in his chair, watching the two women bicker over him with obvious pleasure. I interrupted his enjoyment. "I heard they're talking about a collaboration with Tianhe Group recently? Their CEO, Mr. Zhang, is quite difficult to deal with. I'll help Adam secure this project." Finoa finally found a chance to interject, eager to impress Adam. Adam's gaze softened as he looked at her. "You always surprise me." Looking at Finoa's blushing cheeks, I sized her up. Mr. Zhang was about 1.5 meters tall, reaching Finoa's chin. If Finoa looked down, she could probably just see Mr. Zhang's bald head. I couldn't help but shiver. I was relieved to know Adam wouldn't spend money on Finoa. I took the cup from Ashley, took a sip of water, and left the office. Madam, look at the way their eyes are gleaming, everyone knows what they're going to do next. How can you back out now? Ashley said angrily, wishing she could push me back. If I don't leave, how will Adam motivate Finoa? Huh? Ashley looked puzzled again. I was having my final prenatal checkup when I heard the news of the successful signing with Tianhe Group. My phone had pictures sent by a private investigator. As expected, Mr. Zhang's height only reached Finoa's chin. He lifted Finoa's shirt and buried his head in her chest. Finoa actually looked blissful. I really admire her, it seems she enjoys her work very much. As I closed my phone, I couldn't help but wonder, with Finoa's talent, she could have made a name for herself on her own, so why did she have to seduce someone else's husband? My daughter was born safely. Life suddenly became full, and I no longer paid attention to them all the time. I only occasionally checked the messages from the private investigator. Mr. Qian, Mr. Zhao, Mr. Li, Mr. Sun. Finoa slept with all sorts of older men, and through these achievements, she rose to the position of sales director in the company. As the company grew bigger and bigger, Adam became increasingly busy. He promoted a young man to be on par with Finoa. After all, not every boss is a womanizer. Finoa felt threatened. When my daughter was in elementary school, she started pressuring Adam to divorce his wife. I don't know how Adam brushed her off. She came directly to my studio. As my child grew up and no longer took up so much of my energy, and I no longer wanted to go to the company, I picked up my old hobby again, drawing. When Finoa came, I was drawing a picture of a claw machine. The claw machine was already drawn, and the outlines of the various supporting characters were also sketched out. She sat down opposite me aggressively. Adam cheated on me. I looked up at her, my brow furrowed slightly. I knew. Perhaps my reaction was too calm, because she threw a stack of photos in front of me. I put down my paintbrush, glanced down at the scattered photos on the floor, and couldn't help but laugh out loud. What are you laughing at? She asked, her almond-shaped eyes widening. I thought you were going to say that Adam cheated on you. I looked at her and bent down to pick up the photos from the floor. Anna, Lisa, Jenny. Adam appears in a photo with different women, either embracing or kissing. Some are half naked, some are completely naked, and one photo even shows Adam's buttocks, which is quite obscene. Some of these women were carefully chosen by me for Adam, while others were selected by him himself. The child takes up too much of my energy. How can I be at ease with Adam only having Finoa by his side? What if they develop feelings for each other over time? As it turns out, I was overthinking it. How could a man who was prone to infidelity be devoted to only one woman? Moreover, the moment Finoa first slept with Mr. Tom, she became Adam's tool for making money. She didn't understand. Adam wouldn't marry her, not before, and certainly not now. What do you mean? Finoa stood up. Men, they're bound to stray, I said calmly. You don't mind? She looked at me in shock. After all, I had acted like I loved Adam too much over the years, as if I couldn't live without him. Of course I mind. When I discovered Adam's infidelity, I even had a miscarriage and almost lost the baby. We co-founded Jingming Group, but after I got pregnant, he was seeing other women and even tried to kick me out of the company. But later I realized that forcibly winning back a man who has changed his heart would only cause more disgust. It's better to hold on to the financial reins. My shrewdness allowed me to retain my company shares, and my introduction of Finoa helped the company weather those 2 difficult years. Now, even if Finoa doesn't come looking for me, I'm ready to close the net. What do I have to care about? Look, I spent $3 million on this art studio, and my daughter goes to the best international school. Even my nanny is the highest paid in the wife's circle. As long as he doesn't spend money on other women, does it matter whether he cheats on me or not, or whether he loves me or not? My last sentence provoked Finoa. Seeing her face flush red, I added, I have several boxes of dolls at home, all won by Adam back in the day. If you like, I can have someone send them to you." She got angry and knocked the teacup off my table, yelling, "All the money you spend is money I earned." I looked at the shattered teacup on the ground. I had a Longquan Celadon teacup specially commissioned by a master craftsman. It cost 150,000 yuan. "You're so vulgar. All you care about is money. Your husband is about to be stolen away," she roared. "Then what should I do? Go and cause trouble for Adam? Divorce him, and then give you the opportunity to take his place?" I looked at her with amusement. Her arrogance immediately deflated. You knew all this?" "I won't divorce Adam. I love him, and I believe he'll come back to me someday." I spoke quietly, my voice even trembling slightly. She looked at me in surprise, not understanding why I had suddenly become like this. What just happened?" Adam walked over. Finoa looked at me with an icy expression. "I underestimated you." I had called Adam as soon as she came in. I had just caught a glimpse of him entering. "Adam, Finoa brought these." I handed the photos to Adam, my eyes red. I deliberately placed the one of him working with his buttocks exposed at the top. This successfully ignited his anger. "Finoa? I'm giving you a hard time, and you really think you're something special. You should know that you're where you are today because of my charity." Adam looked at Finoa, his eyes burning with anger. Finoa retorted, "Your charity? I earned my position today entirely through my own hard work." "Hard work? Hard work in bed?" Adam also threw out a stack of photos, showing Finoa hugging and kissing different men. Some photos showed her with her shirt lifted, her skirt pulled down, and others of her being posed in various ways. Sometimes I wonder if Finoa has trained in dance, otherwise how could she be so flexible? These photos, mixed with the ones she just posted, actually make her and Adam seem strangely well-matched. You investigated me." Finoa's face flushed red. Adam was wronged. I sent him the photo anonymously. "So, doesn't this prove you care about me?" Finoa's thought process was peculiar. I stood there, stunned. Someone anonymously mailed it to the company. It didn't have a name on it, and the receptionist opened it. If I hadn't discovered it in time, the whole company would probably know by now. Adam was trembling with anger. I was a little worried. Did he really care about Finoa? The next second, Adam's answer relieved me. "If the photos get out, will we still have any cooperation with President Xing and President Xiao?" Finoa's eyes reddened. "So, even now, all you care about is the company's business? Otherwise what?" "Care about you. You fickle woman, now you dare to provoke Brittany. Go back and pack your things, get out of the company." "Adam, I've given so much to the company, how could you treat me like this?" Finoa stepped forward to hit Adam, but he pushed her away. Finoa bumped into the corner of the easel, cutting her arm and drawing blood. Adam straightened my easel. "You've dirted Brittany's painting." His disdainful look deeply hurt Finoa. "The company was struggling for the past 2 years, and I worked tirelessly for you. This woman was just reaping the benefits without contributing anything, and now you're defending her like this. You yourself said she looked ugly during her pregnancy, and that the stretch marks on her belly disgusted you." Finoa screamed hysterically. Slap. Adam slapped her without hesitation. "Brittany just had an art exhibition, and everyone in the art circle envies me for having a talented, young, and beautiful wife. How could I possibly say such a thing about her?" I looked down at myself, dressed in a white dress, slender and petite. Then I looked at Finoa, her hair disheveled, her face streaked with tears, and the years of promiscuity had prematurely etched wrinkles around her eyes. I actually looked much younger than her. Who did I become like this for? "Adam, if you don't divorce her and marry me today, I'll expose all the dirty secrets of your company." Finoa was acting like a madwoman who had given up all hope. Adam was getting anxious, and so was I. "Finoa, let's talk this out. I can get a divorce, please don't hurt Adam." Tears streamed down my face. "Brittany, I won't divorce you. Didn't we promise each other to be together forever when we were 18? Adam looked at me tenderly and tried to give me a hug. Upon hearing this, Finoa went completely mad. She lunged at Adam, shoving him until he stumbled. Now! I knocked over the easel where the paints were stored. Adam's legs were pinned down, and the craft knife and scissors on the easel pierced his legs. Finoa lost his balance and lunged forward, the knives completely disappearing into Adam's legs. Adam cried out in pain. I rushed to save him, but Finoa pulled out a utility knife without hesitation and pointed it at me. Divorce him. Now. Seeing her frantic state, I tried to calm her down. Finoa, calm down, let's get Adam to the hospital first. Divorce her, she said, looking at Adam. Bitch. Adam cursed. Ah. Before he could finish, Finoa plunged a utility knife into his thigh without hesitation. Fine, help me out, and I'll divorce her right away. Adam immediately changed his tune, saying it was just a stab wound, and I thought he loved me so much. Hearing him relent, Finoa started moving the easel off him. No, Adam, I love you, I will never divorce you. I cried, tears streaming down my face. Finoa stopped what she was doing. Then just watch him suffer. Another stab. Okay, I promise you, divorce. Before Adam could even curse me, I immediately changed my mind, trying hard to suppress the smile that was about to spill from my mouth. In the hospital, I sat by Adam's bed peeling an apple for him. Did you call the police? That bitch Finoa. Finoa had stabbed Adam in the carotid artery. Adam would have to stay in the hospital for a while. No, you just accidentally knocked over the easel and got hit. What's the point of calling the police? I said calmly, without looking up at him. What? What did you say? Adam asked, doubting he had heard me correctly. I said, you just accidentally knocked over the easel, it has nothing to do with anyone else. Where's the security camera footage? Adam sat up abruptly in bed, winced in pain, and lay back down. It's been handed over to the police. Oh, the storage space is full, it only recorded the part where you knocked over the easel. How could it be such a coincidence? Just kidding, of course it wouldn't be that coincidental. I said with a smile. I deleted the rest. You. Why? I covered him with the blanket. You're injured, don't think about so much. I specifically hired the doctors and nurses at this hospital, they'll take good care of you. I'm leaving now. I placed the peeled apple on the table and got up to leave. My phone. Where's my phone? He asked in a panic. I'll take your phone with me so you can recover more easily. I waved the item in my hand and left the ward. I greeted the head nurse. Adam was sleeping, so I shouldn't disturb him. The private ward was very quiet. Before I even got home, news came from the hospital. Adam had jumped from a building. When I arrived at the hospital, a group of doctors and specialists were surrounding him. Adam was shouting, amputation? Why should I have my leg amputated? I want to be transferred to another hospital. The doctors here have all been bribed by Brittany. Adam, what nonsense are you talking about? We are a legitimate hospital. How could a legitimate hospital leave this kind of medicine lying around the bedside like this? Adam took out a small bottle with the word sedative on it. Oh, sorry, it's just my child's artwork. She's been playing a hospital game lately. I squeezed in. My husband is probably under a lot of work stress lately and is having some hallucinations. You're talking nonsense, you're the one hallucinating. I want to be transferred to another hospital. Adam yelled, trying to get up from the bed. Blood was seeping from his legs, and the nurses couldn't hold him down, so they had to give him a real sedative. I signed the surgical consent form, and Adam ultimately had both legs amputated. After calming down, he finally realized, it was all you're doing, why? I opened the painting. A group of people were playing claw machines, and two people stood out. A girl was feeding a man a piece of fried yogurt, and the man was holding an ugly dinosaur. Pink bubbles surrounded the two of them. It was clearly a scene of a couple deeply in love, yet Adam's eyes welled up with tears. You knew all along. Yes, I knew all along. Letting go of a relationship of over a decade is a painful process, but I did it. I took over Adam's company and hired a professional manager. I continued running my art studio. As for Adam, I sent him to a nursing home, asked someone to take good care of him, and never visited him again. In the coffee shop. Why didn't you report me? Finoa asked. Why would I report you? After all, you've contributed so much to the company, she replied casually, stirring her coffee. I didn't know he was married at first, she said. You found out later, didn't you? When we first met at the company, you still chose to stay by his side, trying to replace me. I looked up at her, my eyes calm. Her face stiffened, she hadn't expected me to expose her so directly. The clothing store where you work is one of my investments. I heard there's a girl there who's really good at sales. I was originally planning to promote her to store manager, and if she does well, it's not impossible for her to become a partner. But when I went to the store, I saw her playing claw machines with my husband. Later I thought, it was Adam who was unfaithful, not your fault. Even if it wasn't you, it would have been someone else. So I went to the company to make you see that he's just a fickle person. He could betray us for 10 years, let alone a chance encounter like this. But you chose to provoke me, so I had no choice but to use you. I glanced at Finoa, her lips were trembling. You see, you chose this path yourself. You chose to be a mistress, trying to get something for nothing to become Mr. Adam, but in the end, you paid a much higher price. Now, the wives of all the women in Jiangqing know that you seduced their husbands. It seems you have no choice but to move to another city. I got up and left, but Finoa burst into tears behind me. She deserves to be used by men. She's got hands and feet, yet she insists on seducing other women's husbands. Does she think she'll stay young forever? Hearing the crying, Ashley spat behind her. All right, school's almost over. Time to pick up the kids. Okay, I'll make Mrs. favorite crispy ribbon fish when we get home, Ashley muttered beside me. I looked up at the sky, the sun was shining brightly. From now on, every day will be sunny.